All right, welcome back. We're on episode 140. So this episode, I'm going to go through what the final characters looked like, um, and go over the attribute skills, perks, and whatnot about it. And I'm going to put together my final thoughts on what I want to do for the next playthrough, how I want to build characters and whatnot. All right, so first we'll start with Scotchmo. So Scotchmo, we turned into our brawler. Next playthrough, I'm not going to have a brawler. Next playthrough, I'm going to have a melee weapon. So either bladed weapons or blunt weapons, or, the same guy using the bladed and blunt. I don't know how that's going to work out yet, but I've never played a melee character, so I want to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to eliminate the brawler the next time, and play a melee character. So the brawler really, he was there for the ability to stun multiple mobs, and honestly, I mean, it was important to have on a few fights. At least it made things easier, but it wasn't like, wow, I just stunned like 6 things. It was like, okay, I stunned a couple of guys, and usually the programmers had their enemies spread out enough to where a stun wouldn't just completely incapacitate the entire group. So it wasn't terribly important to have the stun. So I won't be using the brawler next time. Next time I'm using melee. So as far as attributes went, um, intelligence, again, no matter, all the way across the board, intelligence is the best stat in the game. For the brawler, speed was, you had to have speed, especially because I was using him as my main first aid character. So, he had to get around to the battlefield. You saw how many times he arrested people. He had to have that speed to be able to do that and still function. Strength obviously had to be up there. We had to get to 9 strength for his Vertitan armor. I mean, it's wow. That armor is just badass. Too bad it didn't come earlier in the game where it was like, you could play with it for a while, but that's just the way they designed it. Maybe there's a way to get it earlier. If I go back on the videos, try to figure out how you what zones would you go to get there. I know. Anyway, so you need 9 strength for that armor specifically. After that, we focused on luck. I was focusing on luck on I think it's every character above awareness. So that's how that worked out. So the reason that I retrained respect Scotchmo when I first got him to the brawler was because he already has the quirk Way of the Squeezins, so and that's not, his status effect was really good for brawling, so looking at the skills, I made him nerd stuff. I could have easily done mechanics and switched them up, but I'm not completely convinced at this point that I'm going to be worried about skill checks on the next playthrough. At least, not going out of my way like I did on this playthrough. I went out of my way to ensure that I had most of the skill checks, minus weird science, which I kind of screwed up. But yeah. Anyway, so this is what he looked like. The mechanics was just for the damage. The weird science was initially, before you can get to the Vertitan armor, you were able to get to the exoskeleton armor, and that required 3 weird science and 7 strength. So, and again, that's a nice armor set to have. I mean, it looks really cool when you put it on, and that was what he was wearing. So that was the reason that you needed the 3 weird science in order for him to wear that. Other than that, it was pretty useless to have it. The mechanics was simply there for the perk. Leadership would have been really nice to have all the way up. Survival was there for the perk as well to get the big game hunter, but looking back, I think the big game hunter perk really just is not necessary in any instance. I mean, it's nice to have it, but it would have been better to have leadership up to 10 or him, because the person that I had at leadership up to 10 was Lucia, and she's not affected by her own leadership. So someone else needed to have a 10 leadership for her to, get that buff. So that's one thing I would do differently, is make sure that I have 2 characters that were at least at leadership 10. So yeah, I mean, brawling, first aid, leadership, they all go together. They meld well together. Nerd stuff is nice on the brawler. Like I said, you could have done mechanics, but to get to generators, to get to computers and hack them, nerd stuff was, I opened up with nerd stuff using the brawler almost every time any machine was there. I hack one machine and boom, it's gone. So I think having nerd stuff on your highest speed character is the best way to go in fights. So back to the perks. Well, obviously brawling didn't pick up, as you saw. It didn't pick up until you got the 10th perk, and after that it was like, okay. You saw how many times I used mark target. I mean, it's just you're always looking for a marked target. I mean, there's just never a point that you weren't looking for a marked target. So I mean, that's crucial to have on. I mean, literally, you could put it on everybody, but it's a very, you just need marked target for a lot of damage. You just have to be able to get rid of their evasion. So not to mention the extra damage they get if they actually have a precise strike ready to go. As far as the nerd stuff goes, I never put any perks into this. Maybe that would have been cool to have, where you have the hacks that the enemies are being attacked. I don't know. I might try it next playthrough, because I didn't try it this playthrough. And if they are actually, if it does work good, where they actually do get attacked, like your turrets are getting attacked, then maybe the extra con will help. But on Supreme Jerk, I mean, it's probably just going to be a one shot for them too. But I don't know. They didn't do enough damage around the board to be able to have this perk mean anything. The plus 2 AP. I mean, so what? It's plus 2 AP and you get an extra 20 points of damage. I mean, they needed to put a nerve stuff one in here where the robots did a ton more damage. I mean, something like level 10 should have been like, turrets do 10 times more damage. I mean, they really needed to bump it up. These would have been nice to get early. Those aren't bad perks, really. But, I went with the basic perks that helped each individual. Maybe next time down the line I'll actually go full first aid. Demoralize, I really didn't use all that often. I could have, but it just didn't seem that it was necessary in a lot of fights. But it definitely would have made things useful. So I'll probably next time deal with people that have more demoralized, especially since I plan on pumping multiple leaders up this time. Okay, so that's Scotchmo. I mean, as far as the brawling weapons you saw, we had, the foam finger was for the Inspire buff, and you saw me using that constantly. I mean, that's why I think this is, the best brawling weapon in the game, because of the fact that you're inspiring the actual DPS. The Flesh Fist came really late in the game as far as, the DLC. So your Power Gauntlet was your primary, you turned that into the Heart Stopper, and then you had the Elite, so those were your basic brawling setup there. And who knows, there might be more stuff in the game I missed, but, that's what it is. Alright, so Cordite I really gimped out from the jump. Because I had him on hard ass, kiss ass, weapon modding, and at the beginning he was the survival skill check. So his small arms never got to where it was useful, like ever. Like he was not ever going to be a damage dealer. So I didn't really take advantage of the shotgun. You saw, I mean, it was just pathetic. I mean, just absolutely pathetic, the shotgun. But the shotgun, when you spec it for DPS and use the strike attacks and build the strike up, is a monster when it works. So next playthrough, I'm not going to be as worried about the skill checks, and I'm going to load up on the shotgun. And what I think I might be doing is actually putting the shotgun along with sneaky shit and using that as my primary opener, and then taking sneaky shit off the sniper and doing something else with that. So I think that's what's going to happen on the next one. So I'm going to actually use shotguns offensively on the next playthrough. So this playthrough, Cordite, I had him as the shotgun, and he was basically, you know, all he did was rally and mark targets, and that's pretty much all I used him for, was rally and mark target the entire time. But I set him up this way because I think even if I had used him offensively, this is what I would have done anyway. Intelligence, definitely. For the strike attack on the shotgun, once you do start using him as DPS, you're going to need the strike attack. You're going to want it, not need it. You're really going to want it. So you want to have your charisma up on your shotgunner. Coordination, now obviously, you know, I could have went awareness, but I went luck on just about everybody. And you saw how many times... I mean, I had a lot of extra actions. I had a lot of extra attacks. Did that compensate for not having extra range damage and hit percent? I'm willing to bet that if I played another playthrough with just awareness and no luck, it would feel a lot different. And I think I might actually do that. So on the next playthrough, I might prioritize awareness now over luck to see how much difference it feels, you know, when I'm playing. So, yeah, I mean, his background was armor, so, I mean, if I put him as a primary shotgunner again, actually, never mind, I don't even need to worry about talking about it. Next time, he's not going to be in the group, he's going to die, so I'm going to actually kill Cordite. He won't be a part of anything, he'll be dead, so no point in dealing with that part of it. So yeah, you know, I set up this, and that's that. Perks, you know, really didn't get to do anything with it. As I said, he was pretty much just a mule for these two abilities, and that's all he did. That was his function. So yeah, not really exciting with him. Yeah, so not really important to even go over it, actually. Okay, so Minx said, obviously, we lost Minx early on. Not early on, but, you know, we lost her at the Holy Dead Initiation. She got killed in combat in what I think is the hardest fight, simply because you had to figure out the mechanics, and then you had to survive, so I think that ended up being the hardest fight. Yeah, so that VR headset's what's making that noise, and that VR headset is just freaking awesome. Anyway, so for her, she was my submachine guns, and she was by far the biggest DPS character in the entire game, way above Honey and way above Lucia when I had her in the group. So this is amazing. I mean, just what happened here. So with Trigger Happy, along with Stormer, along with Reckless, and then having Serial Killer and Sex Machine just absolutely murdered things. I mean, it was not even remotely close. This thing was just an absolute destruction power. I mean, I cannot believe how much damage she was able to put out, and how many times she was able to move clear across to one area, finish people off in one area, move to the next area, finish off people in the other area, and still get back into cover. I mean, by far, this is the best DPS character you can probably make, and I would say that's even far better than the big gunners. And you can change them too, and you might be able to get them close enough to do a lot of damage, especially when you have no pets available to kill. And you can make an argument that the big gunners may be better AE. I don't know. I still think that the assault rifle, I mean the submachine gun assault rifle builds are going to be the best DPS all the way around. So next time, I didn't play with any assault weapon. I played with assault rifles. I played with the submachine gun. So next time, I'm going to play with the assault rifles and not the machine guns. And as far as the build goes, it's going to be almost exactly the same as this. minus the barter, because I'm not going to be worried about dealing with the bartering. I'm not going to be worried with money making in this one next playthrough. So unless it becomes something that's absolutely critical for me to do, I don't think I need it. Like, I haven't even sold any of the junk. I have all of the junk, every last junk item in this game that I picked up, other than what I use for crafting, still in my inventory. I wanted to sell it just to see it all, but I ended up losing Mink Set early and lost the skill books that got bartering up to 10. So, yeah, okay. So anyway, speaking of her, so I had her at automatic weapons 10. She ended up being the survival um, check. She was the barter check. She was the mechanic check. So it would have been far better. I mean, a ton better for her to have leadership to 10 as the max, like as the primary character for leadership. It would be your assault rifle submachine person, because it had the ability to just just murder multiples in each battle you go into. So I would definitely change this next time to assault, automatic weapons, and leadership primary, and then I would actually remove mechanics from her altogether, because I don't, I often did not want to waste her action points throwing down mechanics when she can run around and kill. So I would not put mechanics on her again. I definitely wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do anything that requires her to use AP outside of just killing. So you wouldn't use, first aid, no mechanics, nerd stuff, that kind of stuff. You would just eliminate that. So you could build your other skill checks around those, saying, okay, well, this would be a good character to have hard ass or kiss ass, just to have something that takes up extra points when you don't need them any longer. So yeah, that's definitely how I would do that. And the next character that I create is going to be a beast when it comes to damage. Okay, I think as far as the attributes go, again, I went luck. So next playthrough, I'm going to go ahead and prioritize awareness to see how different it feels to play that way. Again, intelligence number 1 on this character. I needed to actually go up 2 more here. But the other thing I'm going to do with all the characters is get it to where their strength is high enough to wear the cool armor. So when you look at the armor sets, right? Okay, so if you say here, you get the Verchitin, okay, it's going to be on your melee guy, your top guy, 9 strength. That guy is going to have 9 strength, okay? So now you got to say, well, I need 1 guy with 7 strength and 3 weird science. So you want to put your weird science check, whoever's going to be that, with 7 strength and 3 weird science, so you don't have to waste the weird science points just to get the armor. So whoever does weird science, you want them having the exoskeleton armor. Well, if you look at that, then what does that mean? Yeah, that's a melee bonus. So if you look at the Verchitin, it's not melee bonus, but it's definitely tankish. So you're basically, the exoskeleton set is better for a melee damage person, but in the Verchitin, I guess you could get you can get 2 characters to 9. Work on your melee character to get to 7 strength, and have the melee character be the weird science check as well, and put that on the melee, right? So I create that, put the melee, give him the Verchitin, and then level another character's strength up to 9, just to put this one on. And yeah, obviously you don't need 9 on all characters. You don't need that high of a strength on all characters. This is just to wear the armor, just to have it on, to just look cool in it. So you're going to start looking at, okay, well, if I start bumping strength up to 9 here, okay, I'm losing a lot of awareness or whatever, another ability. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prioritize getting strength up specifically just to wear the cool armor, and for no other reason at all. So that means the melee character should wear the exoskeleton armor. Whoever comes next, you want to put someone at 9 to get the Verchitin armor. Then you have the Chemtech armor. This one is weird science too. So now that you're looking at it, okay, so this one is even higher weird science check. So whoever does the weird science check, you know, get that one to 10. They use the chem tech. So they need 4 strength and 6 weird science. So the weird science check will be at 10. You need that for just crafting the cool weapons. So I think this one with the combat stem. This is good for your sniper, I think. If you're gonna go with a sniper, you get the Chemtech armor. Let the sniper be the ten weird science check. So you're gonna have, you'll get rid of sneaky shit. Put sneaky shit on the automatic, on the shotgun, and let the shotgunner open up combat with sneaky shit. So this lets you put weird science where this is right here. Remember, I got armor modding up way late in the game, and you know, it's not necessary to have on a character. You can put it on a mule if you want it to. I didn't want to have it because I wanted to have convenience of doing it without having to get to mules. I don't know exactly how I'll deal with it on the next one because yeah, anyway. What I found is I wasn't using the armor modding at all. Like, I didn't use armor mods very often at all. I didn't need to use them. Now, that's the reason, is I didn't need to use them. The game never presented like you have to start using these or you're going to start dying over and over again. You know, it didn't get to that point. However, on the next game, I'm going to focus on using armor mods much quicker. And now that I know, you know, I could have put an armor mod on every single piece I had and then taken it off and okay, whatever, I lost it, but then I would have picked up another armor mod and used it, even if it was just the shittiest ones, you know? Because we ended up coming into a problem of not having enough scrap to build weapons. So every armor mod that you created or every weapon mod you created, you lost scrap. It's like, oh my god, you know, I can't create any of this other stuff that I wanted to create because I don't have enough scrap. So scrap is just, you gotta get scrap in this game in order to freaking craft. But yeah, you can use. I could have used the armor mods that I had early on, just sitting there in my inventory. Where the fuck are the mods? Okay. Now, I had tons of them in there. I just never put them on because, you know, it's like, okay, I didn't need to do anything with them. I never needed to do it because it never felt like it was needed. So, yeah, I think next time I go, I'll try to actually start modding armor, modding weapons really early in the game. Okay, so that was her. Oh, we were going back through the armors. Okay, so that means I want one person wearing the Verchitin armor. I want one person wearing the exoskeleton armor. I want one person wearing the Chemtech armor. I want one person wearing power armor, so that's 8. So I need a character with 9 strength, a character with 7 strength, a character with 4 strength, no problem, a character with 8 strength. And that would put on the coolest looking armor sets. And then the nuclear one that we got way late in the game has no strength requirement at all, but it looks badass. So that would be 5 characters. So you have 1 character left, and any of the Steel Town armor sets, they don't have requirements on it. So you can have a pyro or, you know, electric, or you can even use the grounded ones. I don't know if I've got any. Yeah, I don't know if I have any. You can use that. Anyway, so as far as strength requirements go, I mean, that's pretty much the only strength requirements you need. You need to have 9, 4, 7, and 8. So 4 characters you're going to be putting strength on. One of them you would have already been putting strength on for melee or brawling. So 3 of them then, you would have already gotten strength up to 4 on one of them, so that's not too important. So there's only going to be 2 that you're going to be putting strength into that you probably don't need to, the 7 and 8. But yeah, if you want to wear the cool looking armors here, you're going to want to do that, and that's what I'm going to do next time. As long as I can remember that I'm trying to do it. Alright, so going on, Vic, we recruited and made him our big gunner. He was also explosive. This all worked out fine except for the weird science because I didn't get it up. And you know, I've already determined I'm going to put the weird science on the sniper next time so that the sniper can use the Chemtech armor and take advantage of the fact that you have to have 6 weird science anyway. So this will be gone from this character. I still want to use big guns. This time around, though, I did not use um, flamethrowers anywhere near as much as I wanted to. And that was because the pets were always in the fucking way. And no matter what I do, I was gonna kill a pet. I mean, I just couldn't use any AE, or I would just kill off all the pets. This time around, though, I'm planning on not having pets at all, other than the ones that you know are provided to you because you click on them, like the bear guy, like you know, Young Man Winners, um, the flesh things, you know, the ones that are automatically given to you that you're not actually charming. So I don't plan on running with Major Tomcat, although I did see there is an achievement for playing with Billy and Jean to the end, and I don't know exactly what that means. If it just you have to have it at the very end of the fight, but anyway, not going to have pets specifically so I can use AE with impunity and not worry about killing them. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do on this character. He's going to go into big guns. It's going to be the same kind of setup, minus weird science. I'm going to use flamethrowers as a primary thing and see what that's like. See how different the game turns into doing that. Um, yeah, so looking at the attributes, again, went with luck. Started getting awareness up. Um, I don't know if it would be worth putting strike rate if I go with the flamethrower route or not yet. But yeah, definitely he'll be one of the ones that have the strength up there. So, um, so the strength characters will be your melee character. Then you want your shotgunner to have the next strength, and you want your big gunner to have the next strength. So like 9, 8, I think 7 strength, and then the 4 strength for the Chemtech boom there. Then you have the 2 armor sets. You have the armor set that requires no strength, and then you have one of the armor sets from Steel Town with no strength requirement, and that's how you would set up your armor. So yeah, big guns. Here, okay. Attributes, yes. Perks and the big guns. You know, I didn't get any of the ones that had anything to do with flamethrowers, so I will definitely concentrate on those next. The yielding of extra loot from toasters, as you saw, I mean, basically, it wasn't needed at all. So, you know, pointless. So yeah, I'm gonna do that with my next big gunner. Fish Lips wasn't part of it, so I'm not gonna deal with him. I may actually reload and find a save with Lucia still in it. I think I'll do that after that. So I'm not even gonna worry about talking about him. Okay, now talking about the sniper. So again, sniper, next one, we're gonna drop sneaky shit. I was opening up with her, but I plan on opening up with the shotgunner now. So I'm not gonna open up with a sniper. So I don't need sneaky shit. I'm not going to be worried about luck and that person opening up the containers anymore. I'm just not going to worry about that part. So, you know, having her with the luck and all that, I don't need that. I don't need to worry about the lock picking. You know, who has lock picking? It could be anybody at this point, because I'm not worried about the luck character picking up everything. So I'm going to have sniper rifles, no sneaky shit. And yeah, you know, the sniper rifle is going to be able to be able to do some of the other skill checks, because really the only thing she's going to need are a sniper rifle. Doesn't need anything else other than sniper rifle. So, you know, I'll figure out what skill checks to go with her as I'm breaking it down in my mind later on. But hell, she's still, I think she might even keep the armor modding. So she'll definitely have weird science. She'll have sniper rifles, weird science. And yeah, she's probably going to keep armor modding or lockpicking. Because lockpicking you basically have to have. I mean, everything that you come across requires a lockpick. So as far as attributes go, you know, strike rate was not important. Intelligence was the best. This is probably the best setup that you could have for the sniper to begin with. In fact, this I probably will not change this setup at all. Like, she's got the 4 strength for the Chem Tech already. You know, all the major sniperish things here. I went with luck first. I could go with awareness first next time and get awareness up, and then leave luck with 1 point down. So that's probably how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to prioritize awareness first over luck this time coming up. Getting rid of Prospector. So as I said at the very beginning game, I did this for convenience. So, and I ended up, you know, not needing as much money as I thought I was going to need, because I didn't really buy as much as I anticipated I was going to buy. I sold a lot. Don't get me wrong. I went through a lot of money so far. But that said, I still have a shit ton of money sitting in my. I mean, that's a ton of stuff. So yeah, I think I can get away with not worrying about that again. So Prospector goes away, and you know, you can use. I plan on using Chem Tech, so I'm not going to get Death Wish, but you know, I can improve the sniper here by that, getting rid of the Prospector trait. Skills, perks. Yeah, basically, you know, you're in the sniper tree. That's pretty much all you're going to do. Now, obviously, with the 10 check in Weird Science, you can change the damage on energy. So, you know, I was using the energy rifle when it came necessary. So it's actually it works out really well with the sniper to have that. So I may actually put perk points this time into Weird Science, as opposed to just ignoring it like I did this way around. I won't have the sneaky shit. I won't need these. Lights Out was pretty good when you had sneaky shit, but you know, whatever. It wasn't that big of a deal. And as far as the chain ambush, whoop-de-doo. I don't even think it triggered 1 time when I was playing. Now on lower levels, this probably triggers a ton, but on Supreme Jerk, yeah, right. You're not gonna see this trigger. So at least very, very, very rarely. This is a terrible 10th level perk. If you're on Supreme Jerk, because you're just not going to one-shot something that has a lot of damage. On lower levels, you might get away with your sniper, you know, pulling off a bunch of kills in a row, but not. It's a waste of a perk point. Really, it is an absolute waste of a perk point. But not that I needed to worry about it, right? So yeah, that's that. As far as weapons go, you know, there was a lot of weapons that I didn't get around to crafting, to even seeing, because I didn't have Weird Science up to 10. And I can actually see them now because I think I have a guy at 10. So let's see. We'll do that at the very end. So what I want to do now is find Lucia. And Lucia left here. So let's go back to this one, Liberty. We arrested Liberty. Let's see if I can have Lucia in the group, because I want to break down her specs. Because she was my small arms pistol person, and in my head she was going to do much better, but she ended up not being able to kill things anywhere near as efficiently as the submachine gun. Like, she just could not do it. She could not keep up with Minx. So Lucia looked like this before we let her go. So she was the Animal Whisperer leadership. I didn't get the small arms up because I thought I didn't need to have it past that, but it would have been nice to have it at 9, because a lot of guns later on require 9. I was setting up to change her weapon to an explosive types. That didn't work out. So yeah, you know, I could have respec'd, but whatever, I didn't, and that's how that worked out. So she was basically just the pistols. Ended up with a K cannon. I never got the small arms to 9 to really get rid of this, to use it effectively. So yeah, that's why it never got fired. Well, it might have got fired, but not very often. So yeah, you know, pistols. I would say that you don't have to use the pistols. Like, you just don't need a pistol person if you don't want to. It's just to change up the weapon ammo that you might be using. Um, but you could easily use like a big gunner for like actual big guns, and then another one for just flamethrowers. Like you could do that easily, I think, with no problem. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can go with like a melee a melee brawler, like one melee guy and one brawler, or you can go with like a blunt weapon and a sword, you know, a blade weapon, and just drop the pistol altogether. Um, you know, I don't know. There's many things you could do. You don't have to have a pistol to fire to you know to round off the group. But if you did get with a pistol again, if I do that, um, Animal Whisperer really wasn't that important to have, other than skill checks to get animals. There was an achievement of getting every single animal type in the game, and I didn't get that, so maybe next time I'll go back there just to try to get that. As far as the setup, you know, small arms, definitely next time take the small arms up to 9, at least probably 10. Leadership, still good to have, even though I'll have leadership on the submachine, I mean on the assault rifle. Still good to have another one with 10. And when you're looking at who's going to kill more, get more kill shots, I don't know if a big gunner would do it, a big gunner with the leadership, or not. You know, will a fire with a flamethrower with the leadership work? Could be. I don't know. Or maybe I'll have 3 people with leadership 10. Obviously explosives, it didn't work out. Didn't need that. These were just for damages. So if I set up another pistol, it'd be small arms 10, leadership 10, and possibly the Animal Whisperer simply to be able to do the achievement. After that, it doesn't really matter. Tributes ended up luck. So next time we drop luck, we go in awareness just to prioritize that to see what the playthrough's like. And perks, you know, all it was. Trick shot was underwhelming, but there were probably ways that I could have made that better, but yeah, I didn't. Vengeful Bond seemed great, but yeah, you got to the point where you really didn't want to lose your pet. I mean, the pets that I was using were they had really good debuffs. It's like, fuck that, I don't want to lose the pet. So that's kind of a pointless thing to have, really. Honestly, it really is pointless. Your pets are almost always full health. They hardly ever get hit, and when they do, it's because you're the one hitting them on accident. Which, you know, you can use as a strategy, but then you might just kill it right off. So whatever. Yeah. So that's Lucia. Yeah, that's pretty much how that worked out. So lots of things to think about for the next one. But next playthrough, prioritizing awareness over luck to see how much it feels, how different it feels, because I know what it felt like going through it with the 10 luck now. Definitely going to have it set up to have those four specific armors, because I want to have those on because I think those were the coolest, and they have cool stats. Definitely going to set up the assault rifle as the main just kill switch. I mean, she's just gonna be a beast. This time my shotgunner is actually going to do shotgun damage. My big gunner will be doing flamethrower damage. I won't have the brawler, I'll have a melee. I may or may not keep the pistol, and the sniper I'll keep. And yeah, so next setup, that's next playthrough, I'm going to set up the team in that fashion. And it'll be on Supreme Jerk again. Okay, so that's the teams. So let me load back up to this. I don't know where it was at. I don't really know where it was. So I figured out with the Holy Detonation debuff, if you have just one stack, even one stack, that static sound, you're going to hear that throughout the entire game, just with the one stack on the character. So it's not just the proximity of pustule or anybody else that has stacks. It's if you actually have one stack, you're stuck. So here's my sniper. I picked everybody up with it. You know, you see them. She has them all. So you hear the stacks. You know, he's got 10 stacks. Pustule does it automatically because he's just, you know, he's got the buff. So you're always going to hear this static. Hear it? I mean, you're always going to hear it. However, I cleared off the debuff from everybody else, and listen, quiet. I mean, it's just quiet. It's nice. This is not nice. This is not nice at all. This sucks. So, whoever programmed this in, I would like to strangle. Anyway, so the reason that I wouldn't want to do the Holy Detonation DLC early on in the game is specifically for this fucking noise right fucking here. So yeah, So definitely on, as far as doing the DLCs, it doesn't seem to matter when you do the Steel Town DLC. Obviously, doing the Steel Town DLC first, or as soon as possible, you get the good armor sets that have no strength requirement at all. So boom, you're putting everybody in decent armor, and you're picking up one of the best sniper rifles in the game really quick. If you go back to this thing. I mean, this thing was badass. I mean, absolutely badass. This thing, how many times did I use this thing to just blow through 2 or 3 at a time? I mean, it just blew through everything in its path. You know, it's just everything. So, and you get that at Steel Town almost immediately. And you can do that really early in the game. So, as far as consequences goes, I mean, there's just really no point in not doing Steel Town pretty early in the game. But I would definitely keep the Holy Detonation DLC to the end. Like, you get to Yuma, you know, before you're locked yourself into getting to Yuma. Whenever it locks that and says, okay, you know, you can't go forward. Okay, then you go back and do the DLC before the end of the game. You know, that's just the way I would do it. The way I will do it the next time I play the game. As far as decision making goes on the game next time, I'm going to be playing more of the evil one. So more of the dialogue options that are at the bottom. You know, I'm not going to be trying to kiss ass my way out of something or hard ass my way out of something. I'm just going to be like, fuck it, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight a lot more in the next playthrough. It's just going to be, I'm going to be confrontational. I'm going to arrest every single person I can, which means I'm going to be on the Patriarch side. So I'm going to save the Patriarch next time. I'm going to arrest everybody because I wanted to arrest everybody the first time, but it wasn't congruous with the AI saving. I'm not going to kill off the Gippers. The Gippers are going to stay alive. So that means I'm going to have machine commune enemies. I'm going to go with Gary Wolf and do his quest and keep Gary Wolf alive. As far as the Holy Detonation DLC, yeah, I don't know which way I'll go on that. That's going to be a decision I'll make much later. As far as Steel Town goes, Blue's getting arrested. I'm not siding with the AI. I'm going to go ahead and put Markham in charge. So, yeah, I'm going to do all that. So that one already got planned out. Flab's not going to stay in charge. I'm going to use Brygo as opposed to Sheriff Daisy. Which, you know, I'm doing that because I want to see it that way. But I think that there's a...
I don't like you and me.
Jesus! Fuck off!
What? We both like killing, we both like making people scream. How are we not the same?
Because I have style, you fucking flounder! I look good turning the screws. You look like dog shit in Berlin.
And you look good on a plate, rich boy. Go fuck yourself.
I forgot I didn't save that when I first got it. Anyway, so... where was I? Oh, yeah. There's some type of achievement where you need to have, I think, Daisy's faction to max. And there's no way to get Daisy's faction to max if you put everybody in your jail. Now I could arrest everybody and send them to Daisy and get her faction up, but I don't think that me siding with Brygo will give me max faction with the marshals. So, and I think there is an achievement where you need to have the max faction with the marshals, which I won't be doing. So I'm going to send everybody to my jail again, and siding with Brygo, and that means siding with Charlie Knowles when it comes to the bazaar. And there's the Hoon versus the Arapaho. So I think I'll be siding with the Arapaho, saving them as opposed to that. That will give power armor to the Patriarch's forces, and I'm saving the Patriarch, so those mix well. As far as other decisions, let's see, what other major decisions? Yeah, I don't know of anything off the top of my head that, other than what I've already mentioned. So yeah, that's where I'm going to go with the next playthrough. So on a final thing, we got to level 27. You see the XP down here, 74 of 86. I didn't maximize XP gain at all. I could have done better on that. There were several times that I could have gone to Tarjan and blown a token, if I can find them. How many do I have? Alright, so I have 4 tokens. That's with already getting all the perks. So getting all the Tarjan perks, you've got 4 more tokens that I could have gone to Tarjan and used to get the XP buff. And, bumped up XP gain, at least for one character, to use to power level. The problem is that at this level, even if Honey got to 28, somebody else would have had to got to 28 with her in order to be able to power level the entire team up to the next level. So if you're trying to do that, you need to have 2 people, not just 1, 2, close together in XP in order to make that work at higher levels. So, you could use those Tarjan tokens on 2 people and try to, go through an entire zone with the XP buff rolling and see if you can get some more XP. But early on, I had the trinket on for the longest part of the game for 5% XP bonus, and that does help. It does help a lot. You can also, I was telling you I was going to switch out the quirks. You can always pick up the one for XP too, if you're really not worried about combat. And honestly, as you saw, this was a Supreme Jerk run without even attempting to maximize DPS or armor modding, weapon modding. None of these characters were built specifically for full DPS, and you see I still went through it and blasted you through it pretty easily. So to min-max on just damage alone and firepower, it's unnecessary. So when you're looking at your perks, yeah, okay, it would be cool to have all the DPS perks, but they're not necessary. So why not throw XP buffs on everybody if you really wanted to? Like, I could easily have done that. This one here I wouldn't have. This is definitely the setup. I'm going to go with that one. But on everybody else, I could have done something else. Especially if I'm not using companions. If you're using your own 6 rangers, or 4 rangers and 2 companions, those 4 rangers that you build can be anything. Speaking of, I'm going to use another 4 companion 2 ranger setup, because next time primarily I'm going to have the other guys in there. So I'm going to actually have Fish Lips in there for a long time. I'm going to have Bezepi in there for a long time. I'm going to have Jody Bell in there for a long time. And I'm not going to have Vic at all, because we're going to arrest him. So Cordite's going to be dead. So he's not going to be there. So that leaves that leaves Scotchmo, Lucia, and Marshall Kwan. So with saving the Patriarch, I kind of want to have Marshall Kwan and Lucia in the same group. So that would leave only two companion slots available. You know, I've already seen Scotchmo, and I like Scotchmo, so I probably will go with Scotchmo again. I mean, so that really only leaves picking up either Fish Lips or Pizzepi as the final ranger. So it will be Pizzepi in the end. So Fish Lips is going to get on the bench, but I might use him in areas that I'll sit Marshall Kwan down on until the end of the game, or towards the times I'm not dealing with the Patriarch's kids, just to see what he's like in combat as far as his chatter. You know, like we just saw, he had an exchange with Vic here, so just to see his exchanges. But overall, I think Fish Lips is just a terrible companion. Also, talking about what I want to do for the next episodes, or for the next playthrough. Let's go, guys. Just want everybody out here. Can I get out of here now or not? Let me see. I don't want to try to go to the map. So this is something that annoys me that happened, and so early on in Steamtown, if you remember, I think I had that hot rivet rifle loaded, and Honey just blew up the Provost. Just absolutely annihilated the Provost. On accident. Didn't realize that I had killed the Provost until like 3 episodes, several hours later.
The Patriarch is a tyrant.
I did not want to go here.
Time to rise up.
Shame it's come to this, Rangers, but I won't stand by and let you destroy what's left of America.
Alright, anyway, I did not want to go. I was trying to go to the world map. Anyway, so the Provost, having him alive would have opened up several other things in the game, achievement-wise and zone-wise. So there's an achievement. Actually, you know what? I'll talk about achievements on the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here. Next video I'll talk about achievements, and that should be the final video of this playthrough. Alright guys, later.